Hello, everyone. I'm Vincent White. I'm an employment attorney, and today we're talking about New York City. It's over. The party's over. Bill de Blasio, he came out with his announcement that on October 1st, he plans to lay off 22,000 New York City employees, unless he gets federal help or help from the state. But the state doesn't have any money because Cuomo can't run a state, and the federal government hates both New York State, the Eastern Seaboard, and specifically Bill de Blasio. So the feds are not going to give him any money either, right? So there's a high chance the layoff actually goes forward. Now, that's going to be scary for New York City employees. I'm going to say, oh my God, am I going to lose my job, right? This is terrifying. But fear not, because it's New York City, things like your performance, your reviews, your disciplinary history, those are very unlikely to actually factor in for the layoff, because New York City is not a meritocracy in terms of municipal employees. What instead they're very likely to do is terminate people on a last-in, first-out basis. So the most recently hired people, no matter how they're performing, no matter how well or amazing they're doing, they're the ones most likely to be terminated at this point in the layoffs, and people who've been there forever, regardless of the performance, they're the ones most likely to be safe. That's generally how it's going to operate under most of the collective bargaining agreements that govern municipal employees in New York City. As to what departments should be afraid, I mean, I think we can be fairly certain that the FDNY, which is universally loved by the entirety of, frankly, the nation, probably the world, and not to say the FDNY doesn't have its own problems. Certainly, plenty of discrimination takes place in the FDNY. It's just that the world loves them, right? Probably not the NYPD either, based on Bill de Blasio's accounting tricks to try to keep the NYPD from being defunded while pretending that they were defunded to the tune of $1 billion. Based on that nonsense, I'm going to assume that he's not too intent on defunding the NYPD because he is a liar and a bad person. But that's all we can really forecast right now in terms of the layoffs for city employees and the concerns of city employees. In terms of the residents of New York City, and we're employment attorneys, so this is not our expertise, but I've heard a lot of people kind of getting concerned, like, oh, if they get rid of 22,000 employees, all of our services will be gone. You live here? What services are you getting in New York City? What is there? Let me know. I'd like to get some services too. They don't do anything for anyone. They run the MTA, but it's dangerous, and they don't invest in infrastructure, and it's horrible, and it doesn't really run on time. And it's also, frankly, receiving fake cleanings and super dangerous with COVID. So although I ride it every day, I doubt most of you do, because you're probably smarter than me. And beyond that, I mean, besides the MTA, what does New York City provide? Lots of homeless people that it doesn't take care of. Doesn't give them mental health, doesn't treat their addiction problems, doesn't get them off the street, because that's for sure, because I know I can count on two hands the number of people I know in the past 8 weeks who have been assaulted by homeless people in Manhattan. So I don't think the residents of New York City have a lot to worry about, because generally New York City doesn't do anything for the residents of New York City. It's not a problem. Now, it's important for the New York City employees to remember it's not as scary as it sounds. New York City actually employs more people than any other city in the entirety of the United States. In fact, New York City employs more people than any, I think, 47 of the actual states in the United States. There's only 3 states that employ more than New York City, and one of those states is, of course, New York, which New York City is in. So it's 22,000 is a big, scary number, but it's less than a 12th of the workforce, I believe, of New York City. So you're probably fine, especially if you've been in your job for a while. Seniority is going to go a long way. I hope that helps everyone. Good luck.